Hello out there, this is the AnYPony, and today I want to ramble a bit about shipping and handling. Fanfiction by PegasusRescueBrigade. This is a finished story. It has 130,000 words, which is rather short compared to the other fictions I talked about so far in length. Of course it's longer than Cupcakes or My Little Dashie, I believe. How long is My Little Dashie? I really need to check this out. Nevertheless, why do I make just a rambling video instead of a complete fiction review video with script and everything? The idea is the following. I originally planned to say something about every story I read, being it, pretty much every story. So I will eventually talk about every story I have read, every fiction I have read so far, but with some stories I don't have so much to say that it is useful to make a whole review with script and planning and everything about it. Because a rambling video I can make in 10 minutes. A written review takes me about a week with everything involved. So let me start with a short summary. There's one major twist which happens within the first few pages, so if I want to talk about the story, I kind of have to spoil it. It really hurts me because it is actually a very clever and funny twist right at the beginning. But you cannot talk about this story without revealing it. So if you really are super allergic to spoilers, even more than me, and you can't even stand hearing about the premise of a story, stop now, go over to FIMFiction, link is in the description, and just read the first chapter, then you know the premise. And you also know if you like it and want to continue reading it. So you will probably not come back to me. Okay, enough not funny introduction. So yeah, the story is, spoiler, about Derpy-Doo, who is gets fired as a male pony because of her clumsiness. She screwed something up, something too big up, and now she needs to find a new job, and she finds a newspaper article which is pretty much, oh, the shipping and handling, Ponyville shipping and handling looking for new employees, and she's like, okay, I can do shipping, and aha, play on words. She is not talking about shipping in the sense of postal delivery, but in the sense of, you guessed it, shipping ponies with each other. So yeah, she is pretty much working as a coupling agent now. And this is pretty much the premise. Now about the novel itself. It is rather episodic novel, so we have each chapter is pretty much one case she has to solve. So she gets an assignment, she goes out there, then the assignments are really completely different. No assignment is like another. They are really absolutely unique, and if you don't like one, just go to the next, because yeah, they are so absolutely different. And on the other hand, there's also a kind of meta plot which dissolves into a big finale in the last chapter, and which is building up and gets tackled on in each episode a little bit, or in each chapter, whatever. So yeah, but I don't want to give anything about the meta plot away. Just know there is one, and yeah, that's it. So the story itself is basically characterized by FIMFiction as romance and comedy, and yeah, this is pretty much fitting. I mean, it is written in a very light, in a very entertaining tone, so comedy fits, and it is about getting ponies together, so yeah, I guess the romance part kind of explains itself. There are a few adventuresque aspects in it, so also a little bit of this. It's not only slice of life, but also slice of lifey. But as I said, the single chapters are very different, so There is also a sequel to the whole story, which is called Hocus Pocus, and instead of Derpy, the main protagonist is Dinky, her daughter, and it is taking place in the same universe as far as I know. I haven't read it yet. I will probably do another video as soon as I have done this, but oh god, my read later list is so long. Also, it is still incomplete, so Pegasus Rescue Brigade is still writing. It is completely different because it takes place in Dinky's school mainly. It is, I guess I can give this away, it is because it's a school for unicorns, magic, haha. It has, as far as I heard, a certain Harry Potter-esque vibe to it. And it is categorized as adventure, opposite to comedy and romance in case of the main story. So yeah, same universe, very different genre, so well, I will give it a look. Maybe you should as well, or you just wait 100 years until I finished reading this one and share my thoughts on YouTube. So, one thing I can get out of the way right away, will I do a dramatic reading of it? No, because first of all, I wasn't too engaged by the story, I have to admit. I will go into this in a moment. And second of all, there is one character which is described to have a very significant accent, and that people even recognize where he comes from this accent, and I have enough trouble not letting my own accent get too strong, because I could also talk like this, but making other accents within... No, sorry. This was for me like, oh, damn it, I will not read this. And yeah, now about my personal feelings about this story. It is not my kind of story, so it is hard for me to be completely enthusiastic about it and be like, wow, like I have been about stories in the past, but nevertheless, it is a really good story, and it is very well written. It is just this episodic character I don't really enjoy, especially because it is kind of random. On the one hand, it is pretty amazing that each chapter is so unique, but on the other hand, it is like, what? Also, some of the chapters are really kind of out there. I don't want to give anything away, but there is one chapter involving a certain character named Cube, which is pretty woo. Then there is a chapter involving Pinkie Pie, and oh, who would have guessed that a chapter involving Pinkie Pie could be a little bit freaky. So yeah, it was more than once a head scratcher for me, but there were also some chapters I really liked, and there was a certain very likable aspect. Let me just say snails. Believe it or not, I just mentioned snails as a positive thing. So if you read the chapter, you will know what I mean. I just say snails. And also it is, the meta plot is a little bit too slow for me. This is something I can't stand in a television show where it is less active act of entertainment. But in a book, when the chapter ends and there is not the meta plot keeping me reading, it is really like, okay, I pick up the next chapter. And also it is very simple. It is not so complicated. It is like Derpy has this assignment, then she goes there for in the end she gets a payment, and the payment is like, oh, just see what the people will give you, and the people just give her money without end, and it's just so simple. She goes there, does thing, and gets a lot of money for it. Like, I mean, it's pretty much what I do with YouTube, but I'm not getting rich this way. She is getting really bombarded with money. It's kind of like, what? And yeah, this is, so it's a little bit too simple, too easy for me. I like it a little bit more complicated. And but nevertheless, if you say, hey, this really lovely and slice of lively, funny, light-hearted shipping comedy with episodic character is what you like. You like a simpler story and really just want a nice, casual and fun experience, I say give it a chance. And I say because of its episodic character, go there and just read the first chapter. After the first chapter you will know if you like the writing style, then give it another chapter. I believe the first chapter is not so spectacular in regards of the case, because it is just setting things up. So, because of its episodic character, I pretty much recommend everybody to at least check it out. It is not a long fiction, each chapter is even shorter, and if you are like, oh, not mine, that's fine, just stop after one chapter. Yep, this is AnYPony saying see you soon.